Hey guys, it's your girl Naya.
Hey guys, it's your girl Brooke.
And welcome back to the Let's Be So For Real podcast.
Okay, y'all, we in every episode we're just gonna get straight into it, straight to the topic because y'all need to know our opinion and we want to know about yours. So today's topic is never being in a relationship versus
being in an actual relationship.
Thought process, y'all. This is real tea, okay? This
all
is
tea, no
real.
shade. Oh, well, it might be a little shade. Sorry.
Oh,
just
a
a
little
little
shady. I don't know. That's her. That ain't me. Okay, so we're just gonna get right in it because I just feel like why not? I'm speaking for the delusional queens out there. I'm speaking for those who've never, ever, ever, ever been in a relationship but want to be in one. How I think and perceive a relationship is very much Disney Channel, Hallmark. Not BET because BET get a little wild, y'all. VH1 be wild too, but
enough.
It's true though. I think because you're witnessing things, but you're not in it. So you're going based off of like how you perceive things on television or in movies, and then obviously like you have friends that are in relationships, so you're going based off of what they're saying when they're spilling tea about their man, or actually like if you've witnessed your parents, whether they're together or not together, you're soaking all that in and you're drawing your own conclusion. And for me, well, I've seen nothing but negativity my whole life. So I always think it's going to be a beautiful relationship and then it turns sour. I'm always thinking the worst in it, and I try to be optimistic, but then because you've been seeing things that are not so pretty, you're like, oh my gosh, he's gonna love me, but then he's gonna cheat on me. That was kind of crazy. What was that? Oh, we gonna be in love forever. Psych, I lie, is giving divorce.
Stop. Wait a minute.
It's just very like negative. And I think because like, in middle school, I always say this all the time, but like how you perceive the world and how you perceive society is crucial during middle school. You're figuring out your emotions, you're figuring out yourself. And so you have feelings, you develop feelings for people, and then you also are seeing things. And then I would say us kind of, but I never got social media until like later on. But
me neither.
When you hop on social media, then you're looking at things that other people are doing. So you take what you want, but majority of it like is negative. Which isn't
literally, it is.
It isn't the best thing to see, but it's very rare to see those people that are actually in love on both sides. It's not like, oh, I envy you, oh, I hate you, oh, you did this to me, this is why I don't like you. It's kind of like, this is my person, and I love my person, and I can't imagine my life without that person. And those are all like, in my brain, I always think that way fictionally. Because that's what you see in movies. Yeah. And that's what you read in books. And in today's society, y'all.
And, like, I have been in relationships, but the way I used to think that way before I got into relationships. Like, I hate to say it, and I really do hate the fact that I was like that, and I hate it for me. But when I was younger, I used to watch Disney Channel, and I used to watch all those romance movies and shows and all that. I used to love watching Jade and Beck, even though they were the most toxic couple in the world. I love Beck.
Loved him.
We're not going to get into that. He was not a good man. What? But, girl, he was bad.
I blame Jade, but anywho.
All right.
That's a story for a different time, but I get what you're saying.
But, like, I just grew up always wanting to be loved, feel loved by another guy. Yeah. And that goes deeper into like, my father and stuff. Me and my father are good now, but at the time, I was going through whatever I was going through. So I was just craving that love from a guy, from just a male perspective. So before I got into high school, I was always like, when I'm a sophomore, when I'm a junior, I'm going to be in a relationship. I'm going to be in a relationship when I'm a junior, and that's going to be the person I'm going to be with. That's going to be my high school sweetheart. So I feel like because that was my thought process going into high school, I really did rush myself in the relationship aspect because I literally got into a relationship my freshman year. And that was my first ever relationship, which was horrible. It was bad. It was not great. It was actually the worst relationship. And he knows that. He knows it was the worst relationship. On my behalf, he knows that. I mean, you know, I probably treated him however I treated him and however he felt, but that was the worst relationship I think I've ever experienced in my life. Like, even my recent ex wasn't even that bad. Like, it was bad. So I did think the way that you thought, like the whole, like, just unrealistic perspective.
I feel like...
But
it's not really at the same time because, like I said, there are people who love like that, and it's very, very hard to find that and come across somebody who loves so hard like that. But it's like when you're constantly seeing that, and then you're like, oh, I want that for me too. It's like that's all you think.
Yeah.
And so you have high expectations, and then when you get it, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I understand. Like I get that. So I don't know, but that's my thought process. Even now, like, you know, Anaya's been in a relationship or two, so it's like I'm only going based off of what she's saying and how she perceived her past relationships, and then, you know, I take that in, and I almost did have one that didn't work out so well, but but I will say, like, moving forward, even when I was trying to get into that relationship status, I kind of took some things that, you know, people told me to work on that relationship that was growing or was trying to grow. But I did have a negative mindset for like forever.
I'm screaming.
But like I said, it's just how you are perceiving things.
Yeah.
But I will say, for those who are delulu, like myself, no shame in your game. Delulu until it comes to Lulu.
Okay.
Just saying. I will say, like, the biggest hurdle or the biggest problem or the biggest obstacle is the delusion that comes along with it, because you want so much, and, you know, reality is reality and expectations are expectations. So it's like you think so highly of how you want the relationship to be, and then when it doesn't come out and there's actual life that happens, you get hit with a brick. And then also I will say, like, the fantasizing part too really just does it.
It does.
Because you want that relationship. And, you know, people are people at the end of the day, and, you know, they're not going to change. You're not going to change. But the fantasies will do it for y'all too. Yeah. Like, you just see yourself having a white picket fence and a big dress and a nice family, nice dog. But,
dog.
But I mean, you know, reality is reality. So, but I will say, try not to use your delusions to put it into reality. Like, don't put that into your relationship, because, you know, you get heartbroken, and you know, because it's not real. Yeah.
But I also will say, like, people that have been in relationships are also delulu.
But delulu to a certain extent.
No,
though.
That's not true. I was delulu with the last thing. Well, I was delulu, and I knew I was. I think it's a difference. I think sometimes, with you guys, you don't realize that you're being delulu. Like, you don't realize, like, you have some delusional, like, tendencies when it comes to a relationship, and saying, like, you never have been in one, so the way you're thinking, that's how you think, because that's how you want it to be. But realistically, it may not be that way. And I think that's the part that can get you guys hurt. But the people who have been in relationships, are being delulu and know that we're being delulu, and still are going to continue to be delulu. I think that's where it's like a difference, you know, like you doing it unknowing, but then sometimes you do know, and sometimes you still are going to keep doing it. But sometimes you'll say things, and I'll even be like, Brooke, Let's be real. I don't know
What's
about
something
that
I
one.
said that was Delulu?
I gotta think about that one. You've said a lot of things.
Well, a girl can dream.
You said, dang, what did you say? Dang, it was just on the tip of my tongue.
What?
It was when you were going through your little situation.
Help me.
And you were not in the right in that like position. But I feel like you thought like, oh, you know what? Even no. Earlier today when I asked you about the boy from the mall, and you gonna say, "Oh, honey, I don't know what I look like going after a nigga, going to go talk to a nigga."
Yes, because at the end of the day, y'all, I am the prize. I am the catch.
Also,
I am not chasing you.
But like you have
you
to
see me
realize,
looking at you, and you was looking at me, and we was thinking,
whoa,
go to Marcus and go talk to me. Why do I gotta talk to you?
Because sometimes guys are scared.
Okay,
also,
well, I'm scared too.
Okay, well, somebody's gotta.
That's it.
And that's how you lose your person. That could have been your soulmate. How would you know?
He wasn't cute anyway.
Oh.
It was the height.
But, you know, it was... Look. Anyways, y'all.
He was just tall, y'all. He was tall.
Y'all, she is delusional. Because earlier
6'5".
today, she gonna say he was cute. So...
Yeah, it was really the height. The height will really do it.
Anyway, I'm going
the Lulu to the contra Lulu, my girls out there, stay strong. Stay strong.
Just manifest. You ain't gotta be delusional.
You can do both.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna steer right into the relationship.
Yeah, let me hear that one.
Okay. Well, what is it? My experience in being in a relationship?
Well, I would say like, cause you had your thought process prior to being in a relationship, and you were saying like perceiving it as in TV shows and movies. Oh. But then you're actually in a relationship,
and it was nothing like the TVs and movies.
And nothing like it.
I'll tell you that. It was actually horrible. No, it was bad. I was gonna say maybe no, it was pretty bad. I am again, I feel like I always say this, but I am a lover girl. Like I cannot express it enough that how much of a lover girl I am. Like I cannot not be a lover girl. Even I could hate you, but still really I do love you so much, and I could tell you I hate you, but I don't hate you for real. I don't hate you at all. I'm never gonna hate you until you make me hate you, you know?
Real.
But I will say what I was gonna say to you is that me personally, and anybody out there could say something different, but I know me, and I know like everybody else has also said the same thing. Your first relationship is not going to last. It's your first relationship for a reason. Like it's the first relationship to show what you should and should not do for the next relationship. I rarely see people who are I rarely see people who have been in a relationship with someone and that was their first and last relationship. Like, you know, like y'all die together type stuff.
Love that for them.
But that's rare. I've never seen that. Like even like De'Ara and Ken. Yes, they lasted so long.
Girl, good night.
But then they ended up breaking up.
But that was his fault, yeah.
But either way, they both even said like that they never had time to really process themselves outside of the relationship. You know why? Because that was a first relationship, and that was supposed to stay a first relationship for a reason. Your first relationship is supposed to be you figure out what you want in a person. That's first of all. You figure out what you like, what you don't like, what you like physically and mentally and emotionally, and you figure out what you don't like physically, emotionally, mentally. And after that relationship, that's when you go into the next one hoping to see something different from the relationship you were in the past. And then the next relationship, either whether that's the person you stay with or that's another lesson. I honestly think that all the relationships that anybody gets into is a lesson, because I learned something from both people that I was in a relationship with.
Yeah.
Like I learned what not to do from my first relationship. Y'all, that was the most toxic thing I think I've ever experienced in my life. And it was really detrimental to me because it was like, it really messed me up. Like, it's so bad to say, but it really did mess me up at a very young age. Like, and this goes back to me saying how I hate that. This is why I said that I hate that I rushed into it when I was going into high school. because what I went through is things that people go through at our age now. Like the fact that I'm going through this at 13, 14, what? I'm literally getting my heart broken in bed crying depressed at 14, 13. What? People are literally in their bed crying depressed because they got their heart broken at 30. Literally what I went through is what somebody else went through at an older age.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why sometimes I have a lot, like people come to me when we're talking about like stuff like this or like just anything. I feel like I have experienced a lot at a very young age. So I'm able to help other people who are just now experiencing things that I did in the past. And I used to like to blame it on myself for why I even went through this stuff. But at the end of the day, I also had to realize like things happen for a reason.
Yeah, they do.
And that was meant to happen, I guess, whether I wanted it to happen or not. And I will not lie, like it really built me up to be the person that I am today, because I feel I am way different than I was my freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
That's a drastic change.
Yeah.
And that was all because of a relationship.
Yeah.
Like relationships are really like, they're crazy. They're a crazy thing because like you could go from like I was this girl coming out of middle school, was popular in middle school. Everybody was talking to me. I was talking to everybody. Then I go into high school, not even in a high school where all of you guys were at. Like we went to middle school and she was still seeing people that we went to middle school with, and the other ones were seeing people we went to middle. I went in the middle of nowhere. Like I literally went. I swear it was one person from Great Oaks that I knew.
No.
In Brandywine. One person. And I never spoke to them.
Girl.
Never. I spoke to them like 2 times. And that was it. But to jump in from that life to a new life, like that's what it felt like. I had a whole restart or like a fresh start, and that's what I wanted. So I really came into my high school with a bang, low key. Like I was like, okay, I'm this girl. I know I look good. Like I know I'm pretty. Like oh, whoop de whoop. Oh, I have this big outgoing personality. Big outgoing. Yo, I don't even speak to nobody now. I don't even like nobody.
I'm screaming.
So that's another thing. Like I went from liking everybody and wanting to talk to everybody to not liking nobody and wanting to not talk to nobody.
So you're saying that because you went to a different school, like your perspective changed, or you're saying because you were in that relationship, your perspective changed?
On what? On like myself?
Yeah.
I think it was like both. Because what I'm about to say is like more so on the relationship part. Like what I was just explaining was more so the schools. But once I got into my relationship, all that ego I had, oh, I'm the baddest in the school, or oh, I'm friendly to everybody. I'm friends with everybody. I had these big group of friends. I had all these friends. I was talking to everybody. I was cool with everybody. Everybody knew my name. I was Lil Nye. As soon as I got into that relationship, and it was cool for however long it was, and he did some messed up crap, like he like cheated. When that happened, crazy part is I wasn't even mad at him. I was mad at myself. Because it was like I felt it, like women's intuition. I felt it deep down in my like I felt it in my stomach that there was something wrong. And I would ask all the time, did you do this? Are you talking to this person? Are you whatever? And he would make the biggest scene out of it. And that's when I should have known, which I did know. But I think I was so like wanting to be in the relationship. I wanted the relationship so bad that it didn't matter what he was doing, that I was like putting it past me. If you telling me the way it was like, it was like manipulation, but like it was like, if you're telling me like, oh, you're doing all this, you're being extra, or like, what are you talking about? Like you don't trust me, like that type of stuff. Then it made me sit back. It was like, oh wait, maybe I am tripping. Maybe I am thinking too much too into it. Maybe I am overthinking it. Like maybe he's not, but in all actuality, he really was. But that was that gaslighting, manipulation, him trying to turn it back on me and make it seem like I was the issue, or I was the one who was doing too much or being extra. So I was sort of like blindsided. Like I couldn't see. It was people coming up to me like, why are you with him? Like he literally is he's treating you bad. Like it's not good. And I was like, no, like you guys don't know him. You don't know him the way I do. Typical like stupid crap. And
that's so messed up.
Yeah, it is. And I couldn't see it, but everybody else saw it. I'm pretty sure he saw it. I was the only one who didn't see it. Like, I was the only one who didn't see how he was treating me. And I thought this was normal. Again, this was my first.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what was real and what wasn't. I didn't know how this was supposed to go or how this wasn't supposed to go. I thought the way that it was going, I literally thought I had to be hurt to be loved. Yeah. So once he did that and I asked him, I didn't even ask him. Crazy part is, I think somebody told me, and they had a whole video about it, everything, like about the girl saying it, and like, oh, he was there in the video. It was, girl, it was crazy. I don't think I even told you the full thing. I don't talk about it because I don't really like to talk about this situation because it was really like crazy. It was actually a crazy situation, but it was a video. It was like one night, and this girl I don't even like to this day, and I didn't like her back then either, but I don't know, I guess she was beefing with the girl that he was cheating on me with, and I didn't feel no type of way towards her. I did used to think she was a little too close all the time to me. She always was in my face. Oh my God, now you're so pretty. Oh my God, where do you get your clothes? Oh my God, and now you're like, what do you do to do? Like on my, like, you know. So I'm like, okay, she's doing a little too much. She's giving pushover. But I was still nice at the end of the day. Like, I'm not going to be like a D-head and be like, oh, like, you're doing too much, get out of my face. Like, I was still nice, like, oh, trying to be cool. And the girl that was beefing with her, she was like, talking about you, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, talking about me? And then Layla was also beefing with her at the time too. And I think she was, and I don't know, I guess she brought Layla's name up too in it. She brought the girl she's beefing with name in it, and then my name was brought up in it. But again, the girl was always on my all the time. So I'm like, why was my name brought into it? I'm like, what do we have to talk about? Like, what is the issue? They sent the video. Layla sent the video. Layla sent the video to me, but Layla sent it because I was talking about her. And I'm watching the video. I honestly didn't care. Like, I don't care if she's talking about you. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You handle whatever you have to handle with her. If she's not talking about me, I'm skimming through it trying to see where Anaya's coming up in. The person that's recording the video was my boyfriend. So that's where I was like, because I heard his voice in the background. I'm like, who even is recording the video? And I hear his voice, and he's saying something, and she goes, oh, and like, you know, like, I like Anaya, and like I feel like we have to tell her. That's what she said. And he was like, nah, like, that's not something we need to talk about. Like, we don't have to tell her nothing. And I'm like, at that point, I'm like, F the Layla situation, F the other girl. Now it's an issue because what are we not telling Anaya? Like, what's the thing that what are we not saying to Anaya? So then that's when I'm like, what is she talking about? Layla don't know what she's talking about. So nobody knows what she's talking about. So now I'm going to go to the source of the information. So I'm like, hey, this is this video. What is she talking about? What happened? What did you do? We're on the phone, FaceTime. He's playing the game, not taking it serious. He's not even taking it serious. I'm like, what did you do? Like, what is the issue? Like, and why were you even recording this video? Like, it's given sassy man. Like, why was you even in the middle of this girl's beef? It's two girls and you're outside her house recording her and trying to get all the information. It's given sassy. Like, you literally want to be a part of something you had nothing to do with. But now you have something to do with it because you did it yourself. So I'm like, what did you do? And I'm like, I know you did something. Like, I've been feeling it, and I can feel it. You keep trying to say I'm crazy because I'm telling you all this, and I'm telling you I feel this way. You're not trying to listen to me. I was like, what did you do? And he was like laughing and stuff, like not taking this serious. So I hung up, and I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure he cheated. So then one of his friends had to convince him to say that he cheated. So he gonna call me back and said, I cheated. So at that point, I really wasn't even mad at him, nor was I sad. I was mad at myself for not listening to myself. Because I'm like, I knew the whole time, but I still sat here and was like, no, my man. My man is what got me down bad in trouble with myself. But yeah, that happened, and ever since that, my self-esteem was so down. I literally thought I was the ugliest, fattest, not interesting, boring person in the world. Like, I was like, I'm nobody. That's what it felt like. I felt like if you could, and the girl wasn't even cute. Like, let the girl
And that'll do it.
Every time. And I honestly, like, I'm not saying it to be like a hater, because honestly, y'all, I am a girl's girl. But when the silence, because I don't really even have to say much because of that silence. Let the girl have looked better than me. All right. You got me there. You got me. I can't even say nothing. I can't even say she's ugly because she's actually pretty. But then that started to question myself, because I'm like, okay, well, if he thinks that looks good, what am I? Am I ugly? Am I the bottom of the barrel? Am I the booty end of the bread? Like,
no, but yeah,
it really started to question. So all these things were going through my mind, and I'm like, okay, well, I obviously am not the girl that everybody thinks that I am, or that I think I am myself, or that I convinced everybody I was. I was so confident. The confidence went from here to here in like months of my freshman year. And that lasted all the way into my sophomore year. Like, the feeling that, the way that I felt, not even my sophomore year, my junior year, because COVID happened, and then I really was stuck with myself, and that really did it for me. But I hadn't gotten into another relationship since, obviously, I was in situationships, but never an actual, like, tied down, like,
relationship.
what I did with him. I mean, I didn't do nothing, but, you know, like, you know, just the whole relationship, you know, whatever. Sorry, I didn't, because that, to me, honestly, I hate to say that was a relationship, but I guess it was.
Yeah, I mean, you learned something from it, and it also changed your perspective.
No, it really did.
How you perceive relationships now, and how you perceive
literally
yourself.
I did not get into a relationship for like 3 years. And 3 years,
and that's what I'm talking about, y'all. And that's why I be doing what I'm doing, because it's just like, you hear stories like that, and it's just like, well, ain't nobody love each other no more.
But I was like,
but what does cheating do for you?
What
that's
you mean?
I
know. That's what I'm saying.
Like, what does that do?
What do you gain from that? What are you at? Like, me personally, I've been in a situation where I was like dealing with someone, and then I liked somebody else. But at the end of the day, when I was dealing with that one person, I was like, hey, it's not working out anymore. I would never date 2 people at the same time. Like, I would never talk to 2 people at the same time. I just cannot do that. I cannot. I don't even have the patience to text one person. You think I'm going to text 2 of you at the same time? I feel like
I would snitch on myself. I would snitch on myself so bad if I was ever in a relationship and I was cheating. I would, Kyle? I mean, James. I mean, Eric. My bad. I would switch up. I would mess up. I would snitch on myself. It would be horrible.
No, yeah.
But I also love so hard, and
I can only give so much of my love to one person. I can only give all my energy to one person. I cannot split the energy because there's just no way that I'm gonna like give all of y'all the same energy at the same. I'm gonna drain myself. I'm not giving all of y'all every gift in the world. I can't trick on all of y'all.
I'm screaming.
I can't love all of y'all.
I'm cracking.
The only 2 people I will be loving is my man and Chris Brown.
That'll do it.
That's the only thing I can do. If it's gonna be 2, it's gonna include Chris Brown. I'd tell you that now. But yeah, that first relationship really did a toll on me, but it also taught me a lot. It taught me like about my next relationship. But crazy part is, like, even through the process of after your relationship, I done spent them 3 years thinking I was getting myself together. I got into my next relationship, still didn't know what I was doing. Still didn't really love myself the way that I wanted, that I do now. Like, I love myself now. Like, yeah, she really is that girl. But I haven't said that in a long time. It's been a long time since I said that. I didn't start saying that until I got out of my recent relationship. Then, no. After last year. That's when I started to say I'm that girl. Because then I started to really kind of heal from anything that I went through with any person, whether that be friendship or relationship. Now, with the recent stuff, I don't know.
Now, anyways.
But yeah, you learn a lot from relationships. I will say that. But it also depends on who you end up with. Like, I do say that your first relationship won't last. And again, it's very rare that it does. But if it does, good for you. But if it doesn't, it also depends on whether you guys end off in a good place or not. Like, I didn't end off in a good place with my first relationship. But you may end up in a good place with your first relationship. You might actually still be not friends, but like
cordial.
No ill will, no ill intentions. No, like, you wish them the best. Whatever it has to be, there's still peace.
Yeah.
There was no peace for me.
Well, I mean,
there was never going to be. It took me freshman year. What year was that?
of college?
No, of high school.
Oh, of high school.
Like 2018?
2018, 2019.
It took me 6 years, 5.5, to talk to my first relationship ex. Without feeling like I hated him. Like, I genuinely hated him. I never wanted to see his face. I never wanted to speak about him. I never did speak about him. I never wanted to hear his name. I never wanted to see what he was doing. I didn't care. He could have fell in a ditch and died. I'm sorry. But I was not going to care. I mean, granted, it's different now. Like, if he did fall in a ditch and die, oh my God, what the freak, you know? Like, what? No. But, like, before, it was given I wanted him to fall in the ditch.
No.
I did not like him at all. Now, this recent ex, I don't feel ill, whatever. I would never personally, like, I don't know, never say never, but.
Never say never. Sorry.
I never thought that I could walk through fire. Sorry. Sorry. We not even gonna speak about that one. I don't know. I gave y'all one story time on one ex. Maybe save the next one for another time. Let us know you want to hear the other one. Yeah, because that one, it's not too much, but it's not a lot. It's a lot, actually. I don't know, but that one, I would say we ended off in a good place, but then not. At the same time, I think we ended off in a mutual place. Like, we both understood that it had to end, which you could go through. You could both understand that it had to end. I don't know. Relationships are relationships. Sometimes that's why I stay out of them, y'all. That's why I'm not in one right now.
So, with that being said, because of people's, past and them moving forward now, do you think that's why they have that DTN, DTB mindset now? I
don't know, because sometimes there's people who be like DTB, DTN after one person, which I could understand, because my first relationship, I was DTN. No, I did not. Oh God, I did not want to. Sorry. I did not. I literally thought that every guy was going to treat me the exact same way, which is why I understand why some people are DTN, but at some point you have to let that go, because not everyone's the same. Yeah. But I can understand how people get stuck in the headset of everybody is the same, because it's traumatizing. It hurts. Like, it hurts really bad.
And it alters your perspective.
Exactly. So it's like, I do understand the DTN, but it's also like, I understand it to a certain extent. Because at that point, it's like, okay, DTN, because your first relationship was horrible, or whatever relationship you just was in, it was really bad and it really hurt you. And then, you try it with somebody else and you still DTN after that one. I think at that point, that's a you issue, because not a you issue, like, because it's like you're the issue, but because you keep falling for people who are not good people. Because you can really tell who's a good person. Like, let's say, for example, the talking stage and the situationship stage, you can tell who they are from just that. And if you choose to continue to be something serious from that, then that's on you. You already knew what you signed up for. So it's like, Yeah, but then it's also like, I don't know, because people be tricking you.
They be lying.
Yeah, people be lying.
They be lying real bad.
So I don't know. I really just think it depends on the experience you've been through and why you would say DTN, DTB, but then it also comes with growth as well, because your whole life is not going to be DTN, DTB. Or else, I mean, unless you want to be a hoe.
You belong to the street.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think that's, I don't know. I'm no longer DTN. Well, it's like in the back of my mind, yeah, DTN, but it's DTN in a way of like, be careful. You know, like, be careful with which ones. Remember, it's DTN, but also give them a chance. You know, it's like giving them the benefit of the doubt, because sometimes they, honestly, I feel bad for them, because just because they're men, they get the most crap.
Yeah.
Like, they're men, and because I dealt with another man, I'm thinking you just like that man I dealt with.
Yeah.
Which I know it feels bad on their end, because they're like, well, we're not like that. But then again, you got the we're not like that, and they act just like that. But then we also have the ones that say I'm not like that, and they don't act like that. So, depends. I don't know.
I feel like because of, and this is me talking, because like I've never been in a relationship, but I think because of like how you perceive the relationships based off of like what you're seeing and what you're hearing.
Yeah.
That also could make you feel that way
Yeah.
too. Like, you know, trauma is trauma. Like you go through so much, whether that's at a young age, currently, or later on, and it defines you every time. And it alters your perspective and changes the way you act as a person and how you perceive things. But with that one, though, and just relationships in general, I completely understand, because that's just like you having a best friend that did you so dirty.
Yeah.
And then I come and you're like, girl, I don't like
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
I don't even know you for real. We never gonna be close.
Right.
Because she did that. But it's just like, Brooke is completely different.
Exactly.
So that's why, even though like I've never been in a relationship, I still try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, yes, I've been hurt. Yes, I think differently now. But it's also like, they could be saving me, and I don't even know that.
Exactly.
But I also still be thinking like, so you're gonna have to stay that far away from me. I gotta see first.
I'm screaming.
Let me test the waters.
So, are you scared to get into a relationship?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
But that's not a secret though.
Yeah.
Like, I do it to myself, and it's blatantly obvious. Like, the last person, the situationship boy.
Yeah, the situationship boy.
He definitely was like, oh yeah, she doing it to herself. But it's kind of because what I've seen, what I've heard, and then, you know, actions.
Yeah.
But it's also like, I try to get it before it gets me.
Yeah.
And that's what the issue is, because it's just like, I didn't even really give it a chance for real. And I'm just like, I'm scared of getting hurt. I'm scared of getting rejected. I'm scared of somebody diminishing me or making me feel less than, or just doing all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's happened to me before, not in a relationship, but, you know, father figure wise.
Yeah.
It's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
If that man that I was not even romantically invested with can do it to me, what makes you think you won't?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'd rather beat it before you do it to me. So I'm going to dead it. But honestly, he could have really been beneficial, and he could have not. But because I already put my wall up, and it's my wall, like when you go through trauma and you go through hurt and you go through situations like that, your wall gets thicker and thicker each time.
Every time.
And it's harder to get closer to the person, because they're not going to let you in, because they're scared that you're going to do the same exact thing, if not worse, than the last person did. Yeah. So it's kind of like, oh no, I gotta see on that one.
Yeah.
So with me, it's just like, and I know a lot of people can relate to that, because it's like, when you go through something like that, traumatic, whether it's you are actually in a relationship, or for me, you know, father figure wise, I don't want to trust nobody. I don't want to get hurt like that. So it's just like, I want to know who Brooke is. Why does Brooke act the way she acts? Why does she function the way she does? And it's like, I'm not going to let you know that, because I'm giving you a part of myself.
Yeah.
God forbid I do that and you take it and you hurt me and you run away. That was wasted time, wasted energy. Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. I'll cut it myself. Have a blessed one.
No.
So that's why it's like a little bit harder, and I felt bad for the boy because it's like, I know how I am, but I also told you. So it's just like, you want to work with it or you're not. Is it too much for you to handle?
Yeah.
Let me know.
Yeah.
And save us both the trouble and the hurt.
Yeah.
And just be like, all right, Brooke, well, love you from afar.
I'm screaming. Yeah.
But yeah, I always like, I love the idea of being in a relationship, and hopefully like I can move past like, you know, my way of thinking, or somebody can convince me to think otherwise.
I think at some point somebody would, but I would say at some point you do gotta let the wall down just a little. Like, you gotta be vulnerable at some point. Like, I did have issues with my father, but I think it was different for me. Like, because I had issues with my father, I craved some
male attention, male validation.
Exactly.
But I think that and I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people that have daddy issues have these same problems, same issues.
And that's why we usually go for people who aren't good.
Yeah.
But that's why I am glad that you are waiting, because you're doing like self-growth. And at some point, maybe, I don't know. I will say, with the last person, it kind of gave me an eye-opener of like, I'm actually hurting the person. Yeah.
Because of my trauma and what I'm going through. Yeah. So it's just like,
what you don't want to do.
You don't want to do that because they end up resenting you. Yeah. So it's like, and
like, honestly, sorry to cut you off. Like, I would.
You would be like, no, Brooke, too.
No, I would. Like, what would hurt me more is, yes, that person hurt me and that hurts. But what would hurt me more is me hurting someone else. Especially because I know I'm not, like, I'm capable of hurting someone, but I know I don't want to hurt someone. So the fact that I hurt you hurts me. And I don't like that. Like, to say that I was the one who, like, say if it was reversed, to say if I was the one who cheated on him and I made him feel like crap and I manipulated him, I would hate to be in that light. And I know he hates. He says it. He claims that he don't remember him being like that, but he does not even, like, the way I explain it, he's just like, damn, like, what? Like, I was like that? Like, I'm so sorry, like, whatever. Because it's not a good way. Like, you don't want to be seen in that light, because especially if that's not who you are as a person. And that's why sometimes I do think about that with my recent ex, and I'm like, I hope that I wasn't that type of person.
That's why, like, with the situationship, like, I feel bad a little bit because it's like that. Well, that was not a relationship. Just full disclosure, I want you guys to know that Brooke has never ever been in a relationship. Yes, she hasn't been in situationships, but never relationships. But I will say, like, subconsciously, I still think it was low key, because I was emotionally attached. I was invested. I gave my 1,000%. Yeah. Anyway, but with that one, I really did feel bad, because it's like, I asked the question, well, when and where, at one point did you back out? But then actually thinking about it, I would have left her too. I would have checked out too. Yeah. Because what are you doing? Yeah. Are you scared? Yeah. Why are you scared? Yeah. Tell me why. But I did. And that's where it's like contradicting, because it's just like, I gave you my whole life. On a piece of paper, and was like, this is why she is what she is, and do you want to go with that or not? And let me know, because you're not really hurting me. I already told you what it was. But I feel bad, because it's just like, at what point are you going to not stop acting like that? Like, when are you going to change your mentality? Am I going to be the person to change it, or are you going to do it by yourself? And I don't feel like there was ever That's a story for a different time, everybody. I'm just saying, no shade to him, y'all. I mean, he helped in the best way he could to make me better, but also I feel like, some things could have been different, but But regardless, for those who've like never been in relationships and, can relate to me, and understand why we is the Lulu too, it comes to Lulu, but also But also, like, how we perceive things. You're probably scared to be in a relationship because of what you've heard, what you've seen, and and then if you can relate to Anaya,
child, I know a lot of y'all relate.
I feel it.
I just know, like, it's just, especially like talking about first relationships. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
But
about
I
that
just
first
feel
relationship.
like that's so sad that, like, regardless if that was your first or fifth or whatever, like every single time you go through a relationship, whether it was good or bad, you still have a changed perspective. And sometimes it's a negative and sometimes it's a positive.
Yeah, it sucks because it's like 50-50. You might get a good person, you might get a bad person, you might get a good relationship, you might get a bad relationship. You just never know. But I think being in relationships, or that's why I'm saying, like, when you were going through whatever you were going through, I'm glad you went through that, and I'm glad I wasn't necessarily pushing you or like forcing you to do it, but I was like saying, like, if you like this person, if this person likes you, don't shut them out. Just let it be let it be what it is, because at least you can say you had this experience and you experienced this so that you know what you can do better the next time. And whether that be another situation or an actual relationship, but at least you have this experience. Because again, I had that experience with my first ex, and I knew what not to do, what to do,
what you want, what you don't want.
And that's another thing. You gotta take accountability for when you're in these situations, because if you don't, then you're gonna keep repeating the same process over and over and over again. If I didn't take accountability for what I did in my recent ex relationship, I think that I probably would have still been treating people the same way I treated him in the next relationship. And that's not what I want to do. I want to be better than I was before. You always want to step your game up every single relationship instead of going 10 steps backwards and doing what your ex did to you to somebody else.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, do you feel as though from your relationship, not the one that just happened, but the one before that, like, because he did so much damage and you came out like not the same, did it make you be like emotionally unavailable to the next person?
So, like, what, my recent ex? I would say so. I would say so, and I would say this because when I met my ex, I was depressed, which means I was already not even in a good headspace to even be in a relationship with anyone. But I was like, maybe this is what I need. But I feel like it was good until it wasn't. What was your question?
Emotionally unavailable.
Emotionally unavailable, yes. And for a second, I was in the beginning. I didn't really talk about like my
feelings.
I didn't talk about my feelings. Like, it used to take a lot for him to try and get it out of me, but I mean, eventually he did.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about that one, and that is the most irritating thing in the world, because it's just like, how are you even supposed to, how do you function as a person not conveying your emotions? Why don't you feel like you feel something? So why aren't you talking about it? Why aren't you saying it? If I did something that hurt you, tell me so we can fix it, so we can grow better.
Some people, it's hard. It's hard.
Then don't talk to me. Why are we even doing something?
All right. See, and that's your issue. You can't act like that. You cannot act like that.
How am I supposed to help you?
You gotta be understanding.
Help me help you.
Help me help you. You gotta be understanding.
But no, I understand. I do understand, but that's just the only thing that's just like, because I'm such a I feel. Now that I understand how to express myself and
that's
open
what I'm saying.
up.
You used to not even express yourself.
No, I know. So now that I'm able to do that, and I understand how it makes you feel after, it's just like, if somebody is asking me, and granted, when I'm mad, I don't want to talk about my feelings, but if somebody's trying to actually understand and help in the best way they can, then I give them, like, praise and everything. I'm like, okay, well, then you really do respect me, you love me, so I appreciate you. But it's just like, if you're in a relationship and somebody is not talking,
I'm screaming.
It just like ticks me off just a tiny bit, because it's just like, if we love each other and we want to see each other grow and be the best versions of ourselves, because that's honestly, when you are in a relationship, whether it's a
Mm-hmm.
friendship or not, you are helping the person.
Yeah.
And you're making the person better. So it's just like, if I can't help you, then what are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, I gave in eventually, y'all.
Yeah, no, good job.
Okay. I am a lover girl until you make me not a lover girl. I can love you, but how long am I supposed to love you and you keep disrespecting me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one.
How long?
But
how long?
some people be staying just to stay still.
I mean,
because they're
I understand because I did it, but then I don't understand because it was still horrible. Like that was the most pointless thing I've ever done in my life. That was a waste of time. A waste of time I could have had to myself to actually get myself together and build myself back up.
Mm-hmm.
But I stayed because of someone else who didn't even care about me.
Mm-hmm. That'll do it.
Relationships are crazy, but I mean, they're fun. They're fun until somebody do some
Messy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Until somebody start lying. Until
Look
somebody
at girl.
start arguing.
She gonna start. Sorry, she gonna list them all out. It's like until he do this.
But I do think like besides the all the lying and the arguing and this thing starting to get toxic between him and I, we did end it because we did realize that it was getting toxic. But before it was that, like, you know, I loved him literally with all my heart, and I still have love for him. I don't love him. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm not in love with him, or I'm not like, I just have love for him. Just like I have love for you as a friend, or like, you know, whatever. But I don't have, that's it. I don't have nothing else to say about him. I don't have nothing else. I hope you doing well. I guess. You. God bless your soul. Bless. And I hope you found somebody.
anyways. Well, I guess that just wraps up our episode. If you can relate, obviously, to both of me and Anaya's perspectives, me being not in a relationship and her being in a relationship, and then the aftermath and her thought process after, let us know if you have any questions, or if you have your own little story time and want some advice on that. Definitely let us know.
Yep.
And I guess that's really it. So thanks you guys
for watching.
Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your mama, your auntie, your granddad, your pappy,
dog, your cat, your hamster, your chicken, your cow. No? Okay.
You know, they don't have access to the internet.
You don't know. Sometimes they be watching it. My cat be watching TV. My dog be watching TV, child. When she see another dog on that TV, she gonna pay attention. No. She love Bluey.
No.
She do. All right.
So, yeah,
Thank
make
you
sure
guys.
y'all like, comment, subscribe. And, yeah, we will see you in the next episode.
Bye. Love ya.